What's going on, everybody? So, got a Monday Night Raw review for you guys, and I know it's late. Uh, been a little busy, but anywho, of course, a lot went down for Money in the Bank, and they did a recap on that. But we kick it off with CM Punk. CM Punk. Man, for the third time, you just keep getting involved. But no, yeah, we start off with CM Punk, and he basically goes into why he did what he did, and he's blind with rage. He's basically giving his like basically Drew Braun just on himself. He could he's not the type to let stuff go, but he keeps starting this war with him. So he's going to finish it. He's going to make sure that Drew never becomes World Heavyweight Champion as long as he got breath in his body. That is like his life mission. But he mentions one of his go-to things in his promo was that he mentions choices, or not choices, actions have consequences. And he mentions that. And as a talking point, he was talking about that was one of his talking points of how actions have consequences. And ironically enough, Seth Rollins would come out. And the reason why it's ironic is because Seth Rollins mentions, like, how come, I can understand that your selfishness and all this other stuff, but how come you was out here talking about how choices have consequences or actions have consequences? Why is that applied to everybody in your life except you? So he's out here to inform him that, I get it. He said Drew McIntyre had the right to cash in. He won Money, but he had the right to cash in. Damian Priest, everything. He could understand everything up until CM Punk did the one thing he told him not to do, which is interfere in his business, especially when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship. And CM Punk did it. And CM Punk apologized. He did it. He struggled with it, but he did apologize. He said he was blind with rage. He didn't mean. He understand. He hears everybody. He understands that in his actions of trying to keep Drew McIntyre from becoming world champion, he consequently, he was so blind with rage, he didn't realize he was also screwing Seth Rollins. But then he turned his apology to a backhanded apology, because then he went from apologizing to them was like, well, it's you, so do I really need to really truly be sorry, So I'm like, oh, come on, god dang it, Punk. But basically, Seth went to talking about how basically choices have actions have the consequences. And he was saying that because you chose to do what you did, from now on, since you want to get to Drew McIntyre, and he said, I could attack you right now, but he's gonna wait till he's medically cleared. But he warned him that once he does get medically cleared, your actions have consequence, and in this form, that consequence is that now, whenever you get cleared, before you even can say the name Drew McIntyre, he said he's going to attack him and break his arm and put him right back on the shelf. So now, effectively, CM Punk has made two enemies. Well, he's already had an enemy in Drew, but his actions not only cost Drew and Seth Rollins the title, he now has Seth Rollins after him as well. Then we get the backstage promo with Adam Pearce and Dominic Mysterio, who basically was trying to get Adam Pearce to cancel the tag team match, which was revealed to be him and Liv Morgan versus Mysterio and Zelina Vega. Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega, and he was saying He never requested it, didn't ask for it, but he said Liv asked for it, and he said, plus I thought that's what you want. Don't you want to get back at your dad or whatnot? So, and he told him that the match is happening, and there was no way he was, stopping it. And then we get the first match of the night, which is Jey Uso versus Chad Gable. And man, I just see, this is why I missed not being doing our podcast, because there's so much I want to say. Now I don't want to make this a long video just talking about Jay, but just a cliff note of what I truly want to talk about is that we build Jay up to this main event star. He's popular, he's super over, right? At some point, I mean WWE, because I'm not in charge, obviously, but WWE, at some point, you're gonna have to pull the trigger and actually pay off this build up of Jey Uso, because at this point, you're starting to approach. With Jey Uso, we're not seeing the results we want to see with him. So now we're starting to get to that in middle part where we like we're there. We're not at the middle part yet, but we're starting to approach it with him. But this was an okay match, because I won't even say it was. I can't say it was good because it didn't last long. It was ironic they got the women treatment here. This match only lasted it felt like it only lasted like literally like 5 to 8 minutes. Like it wasn't long at all. Like they battled, they got some moves off. The lights started doing the Bray Wyatt effect. Jay would spear Chad Gable and get the victory. Then he would dip as the lights it did the chew boom. It did like the first lights went off and then just stayed that way like forever to Jey Uso won. And by the time the referee counted the 1, 2, 3, that's when we got the other light going off, and then we got Jay the Ring saying yeet, and then he took off while Chad Gable was still laying there. And then we basically got the doom, and then Chad, he wakes up to find out that the ring is basically being flooded. He's in the fog. He sees Abby the Witch or Nikki Cross basically at the foot of the ring in front of Michael Cole and them. He takes off running just like Jey Uso, but this time nobody's stopping him. He's actually able to leave the same way Jey Uso left. And she finally is able to give the package to Pat McAfee, by the way, who is back. And after taking some time off, he thanks everybody for their condolences and everything. And it's another VHS tape. Then we get Sheamus backstage talking about 15 years. I think it's been 15 years in the business or something like that. And he was talking about like comments, everything, or at least almost everything, because he haven't became Intercontinental Champion. And he would get interrupted by Bronson Reed, who told him that he should be worried about his 15th anniversary or whatever, 15-year anniversary. Should be worried about him. And he said Sheamus was going to teach him a lesson about interrupting him, and that he wanted to fight him. But then Bronson Reed, he'd be glad to fight him, but he said not tonight, because he already got a match. He said, but watch what I'm going to do to your friend Pete Dunne. And then we would get to that. The second match of the night would be Bronson Reed versus Pete Dunne, and this was a good one. Pete Dunne got some offense that I didn't think he was going to get, but he did. And he got some offense in, and he would. I'm sorry, I got caught off guard by what's going to happen next. I'm trying to remember if that was the one with Seth Rollins. But yeah, he would get some good offenses, but Bronson Reed would take the match eventually by hitting the tsunami on Pete Dunne. But the story here is Braun Strowman was going to go for an additional attack on Pete Dunne, but he would get saved by Sheamus. And then when Sheamus and Pete Dunne when Sheamus tried to embrace with Pete Dunne in the ring, Pete Dunne was like, "No, get off me," and would just leave the ring. And Sheamus like, "What's going on? Like what did I do? You know?" And then they try to explain like how Michael Cole then tried to explain that he basically abandoned him when he got injured. Like I'm like, how can you abandon someone if you was injured? Like y'all imploded while I was gone. So when I came back, y'all was Ridge Hollins on NXT. You're on Raw with a new tag team. But I didn't abandon y'all. Y'all just imploded while I was gone. But tomato, right? Let's see. Yeah, so then the next promo is basically Judgment Day, backstage talking about some stuff, talking about handling some business. But this is not the time. Yeah, this is not the time where Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest were getting into it. But they were just talking about the upcoming match and whatnot. But they were getting interrupted by Seth Rollins, who Damian Priest allowed the others to go get prepared for their match. And Seth Rollins said that for all intents and purposes, you kept to your word. Your boys never came out. So I'm gonna keep to my word, and that as long as you're champion, I'll never challenge you for that title ever again. But Damian Priest realizing that he still got a lot to prove, he throws their gentleman agreement out the window, saying that because he basically doesn't like the way how things went. So he said once he's done with Gunther, after if he wants another shot at him after he gets done with Gunther, then he'll be more than happy to give Seth Rollins another opportunity. So Seth Rollins there's no longer. I guess you could basically say Seth Rollins still got opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship now. Then we get to a Sami Zayn promo where he talked about his match with Braun Breaker and how people thought that Braun Breaker was going to run through him and beat him and stuff like that. But, obviously he didn't, and that he still stayed here Intercontinental Champion. And Braun Breaker found out the hard way that when you come to the match with Sami Zayn, especially with disrespect, you learn that Sami Zayn, blah blah blah. Braun Breaker would come out and basically get in Sami Zayn's face, but he wouldn't say nothing. Sami Zayn like, "Is you gonna say anything? Like, what are you doing out here? Like, you want another match?" Like, and he wouldn't say nothing. And that's when Sami Zayn like, "Are you gonna say anything? Like, you want another match?" And then he would like, put the microphone on his chest, and Braun Breaker said that he wanted to come out here and so respect that out of all the people back there who's afraid of him, he wasn't afraid of him, and he beat him. So with that, he knows that there's no logical reason why he could get a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. So he said that got him thinking, and then he just dropped the mic while all saying this too, as he's talking, as he's starting to back away and walk, getting some distance from Sami Zayn. And this was because when it got me to thinking, then he dropped the mic and he just speared Sami Zayn literally out of one of his shoes and beat up on him. He had to be separated. That they got him to the outside of the ring, got Sami to the outside of the ring, and as he was like going up the ramp with Adam Pearce, he was going like this. He was going like this. Then he would go, "Hey Adam, what's that?" Adam was like, "What? What?" He'll look and he'll turn that corner so quick and run around the ring and spear Sami Zayn again. And they would have to get him. They finally got him to go away. This time, the second time, when he was going up the ramp, Ilya Dragunov would run down. He was like, "Oh, what now? What you want?" And they had to hold Ilya back from trying to fight him. And then that match, well, I will get to that in a minute. No, actually, that is what happened next. Okay, I thought something else happened first, but yeah, Ilya would then have a backstage promo where he would basically demand a match with Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker and Adam Pearce will make that official. Um, then we got the third match of the night, which is Judgment Day versus Judgment Day and I was about to say versus Carlito. Judgment Day and Carlito versus Braun Strowman, then the Miz and Truth. And this was a good tag team match. Um, it was a good one. Braun Strowman did his thing. Carlito, R-Truth and the Miz did their thing. And at one point, they had the upper hand, looked like they were going to win, but Judgment Day would actually pull out the victory on this one, which is a good thing because it's starting to. Judgment Day needs some victories on this scale, especially now that they tag team. That the Judgment Day of basically the Judgment Day part was just Finn Balor and JD McDonough with Carlito, by the way. Then we were getting a CM Punk promo with Adam Pearce, where basically CM Punk kept true. I forgot in his promo earlier, he said he was trying to convince Adam Pearce to lift Drew's suspension so that he can fight Drew. And this is where he would do it at. He was trying to convince Adam Pearce to do it. So Adam Pearce agreed that he's going to invite Drew back here. He's going to invite Drew to Monday Night Raw next week. And that he's going to try to talk to him and see what type of headspace he's in. That if he can even be reasoned with, he can be talked to. And if he can, he told CM Punk he will lift the suspension. But in order to do so, in order to make sure that in order to help CM Punk to make sure this goes the way he wants it to go, CM Punk, you can't be here. So you cannot be here next week when Drew McIntyre is here, because if you're here and he's here, this is not going to go the way they're going to go, and you're not going to get I'm not going to lift the suspension because you're just going to cause more chaos. But I forgot to mention that due to the chaos of the Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre was double fined, not for just what he did at the post show, but also I guess he was talking crap on Twitter too. So Adam Pearce had to double fine him, and he fined CM Punk too for his actions. CM Punk finally got fined for causing all this mayhem and all this mayhem and chaos. Then we would get Liv and Dom, where they were trying to talk strategy about the match, and then Liv would actually try to stretch, help Dom stretch. Dom like, hey man, I don't want you doing it. And then he was like, oh wait a minute, actually this kind of feels good. Like, dang, this kind of actually good stretch. She said, of course. But then they'll get interrupted by Judgment Day and Damian Priest. This is where Dominic Mysterio and Dane would get into it, because Dom would say once again, man, you sound like my dad. And he said, no, what, that's the second time you say that, blah blah blah. He said, all I wanted you to do, I'm starting to sound like dad. I'm starting to understand your dad now, because I'm starting to understand you, understand your dad more now when it comes to you. Like, I ain't told you to get the job done. You can't handle Liv. Why is Liv still a factor in this? And like, why can't you just? I told you to end things with this and get it done. He said, I thought I did. I thought I handled it. So I'm gonna go handle it. And I like that Carlito made like a gesture about. He said, I don't understand, because David Priest said, I don't understand why is this so hard for you? It's not that hard. And Carlito was like, looks pretty hard to me, man. And they're like, Carlito, man, dang. They were like, get out of here. And then as everybody would leave, Damian Priest would get a phone call. He'd be like, where you at? So real quickly, we got another vignette with the Wyatt family, and Bo Dallas talking about him freeing them and making sure that people haven't forgotten them, and that he freed them. It's time to let them loose onto the roster, and whatnot. And then we got Chad Gable confronting Adam Pearce. I'm like, wow, Adam Pearce got a lot of screen time today. He got a lot of screen time. Adam Pearce would basically would get confronted by Chad Gable about the Wyatts and saying that they obviously charging him on what he's doing about it. He said, he said I ordered investigations. I double security over the last 2 weeks. Instead of arguing with me and yelling at me about what I'm doing about it, you ever start to ask yourself why they're targeting you? And he was just like, he just brushed out. Like, I got to do everything around here. He's like, well, I'm gonna handle it. I'm gonna handle it my way, and you're gonna owe me a big thank you when I handle it. Only for Adam Pearce to go into his office and see Bo Dallas / Uncle Holly sitting there waiting for him, and seeing like they were gonna have some type of conversation, but we never do. And I think that was the last time you seen Adam Pearce. Then we got a Damage Control promo where basically them saying they're gonna run everything, how they're gonna take control and make everybody respect them. That's the problem with with why EO said everything needs to change because nobody's respecting them. And then we get the fourth match on the night, which is Ilya versus Braun Breaker. And this was a good match. This was hard hitting. This was brutal. Ilya got busted open, but not in the face, not in the he wasn't bleeding from the face or anything. He somehow busted his leg, the lower part of his leg, like the part of the leg that's almost going towards your feet. Like somehow he cut himself open there. And but yeah, this was a hard fought, brutal match. But it would end in a disqualification when Braun Breaker would throw one like the chair, like Samantha Irvin or Michael Cole and them sitting in. He threw one of them chairs at Ilya, causing disqualification. Sami Zayn would get involved, and they would try to fight Ilya. It would try to fight Braun. But Braun would lay out both Ilya and Sami. So it looked like Braun is going to continue feuding with Sami Zayn. I guess probably leading up to another match. I'm assuming it's going to lead to a match at SummerSlam, which would be pretty cool since I'm going to be there live. And you know what's fun about being there live is that I'm going to be able to give you guys a review from a live standpoint of what it was like being there live. So that's going to be pretty cool. Let's see, we got a Damian Priest promo talking about how everything's been going. Like it was like a vignette type promo about everything, and that he invites Gunther. He's saying he's going to beat Gunther, and if Gunther feels some type of way about the stuff he's saying, he's going to invite him next week to the show so he can say it to his face. And then we got the Final Testament also bragging about putting Kofi out, and that they giving Xavier Woods an ultimatum on whether or not he could join them or fight them. And then we'll get the fifth match on the night, which is Damage Control versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter and Lyra Valkyria in a 6-woman tag match. This was a good one also. This was a good match between the two. I actually the fact that I actually had someone that had Katana and them winning, because they was gonna win. It looked like they had the match won at one point, but Damage Control did their thing and got the victory here. And I'm just like, okay, this is one of them out of the norms where they actually put Damage Control over. But and then like a female version of the Shield, they would get attacked out of nowhere by Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Blazer, and they would just destroy Damage Control, and to reveal that I guess they're this new dominant faction now. And we would even get a backstage promo from them talking about why they chose to join forces with Sonya Deville, and how they're going to take how they talk about how Damage Control talking about they run the division, but they the ones who truly run the division and all that type of stuff. Wow. Again, we get this tease, and we see Chad Gable talking to the Creed brothers, but this time the Creed brothers look a little different. they're wearing suits just like Chad Gable wearing suits, and you see Ivy Niles is with them. So eventually, I like these little teases. I wonder what Triple H is going to pull the trigger on that. And then we get to the main event, which is Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan versus the LWO's Rey Mysterio and Zelina Vega. There was a promo earlier in the day. I forgot. I don't think I even wrote it down, but I meant to write it down. It was a promo earlier in the day with them talking about how they can't wait for the match or whatnot. But this was a good match. This was a good way to end Monday Night Raw. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed it. Liv Morgan. I liked the spot where Rey Mysterio tripped or kicked Dominic Mysterio while they had Liv Morgan. Like Liv Morgan was just in the ring, in the corner, just slumped, and they kicked Dominic Mysterio. Dominic landed in between Liv Morgan's legs, and Liv Morgan was like, "Oh God!" And then she realized where he was. She was like, "Oh God!" And then she rubbed his head. He like, "Hey man, what? Get off me!" He's like, "No, that wasn't what I'm trying to do." And I'm just like, "What is going on?" And then she trying to, Dominic "Stop! What are you doing?" And then, I told you this is not that. And he, the match was good. Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio would get the victory with Dominic Mysterio pinning his dad. So he finally got a victory over his dad, and his happiness, his overzealousness, he hugged Liv Morgan and was like, "Oh, whoa." He's like, "Whoa, hold on now. I didn't mean to do that. I got a little excited." But Liv would jump on him and straddle him, and they would fall to the ground. It was like Dominic Mysterio was finally folding. He was finally giving in, but then, this is my brutality. Mommy's back. We found out that's who Damian Priest was talking to earlier, and she was furious. She was pissed. She was walking to the ring with a purpose, and Liz was just like, "Oh, I'm out of here." And she took off. She took off into the crowd, and then she would get into the ring to end the show by staring down Rey Mysterio saying, "Mommy's back." And she's angry. We gotta wait till next week to see how this is gonna unfold with Judgment Day. But this was a good show. Not as good as the last two Raws, but I'm guessing when they gearing up for SummerSlam, we're gonna get a full on some good Raws and stuff. So I'm gonna give this Monday Night Raw a 7 out of 10 big ups. Because it was okay. I enjoyed it, especially with return of Rhea Ripley. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoy my reaction in my review. You hit this button right there for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoy the video so much and want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, because we're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I need you guys' help to do so. And as always, hit one of these videos for more of my amazing content. But don't go anywhere, because I got the review for The Boys and some reactions coming up next. So, peace.